All right, guys, one thing I've learned about getting older is flexibility matters more than chasing maximum returns. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through my entire Roth IRA, the ETFs I own, my covered call strategy, and also why I purposely keep part of my account in SGOV. I'm going to take you into the Brokerage app, share all the positions with you, and talk about all these things with you guys today. And then I'll take you into the spreadsheet so you can see how this Roth IRA is actually performing. Now, just go ahead and jump right in and record the screen, and I'll share my Brokerage app with you guys. 3, 2, 1, bam. All right, now if we open up Charles Schwab, let me go back here. This is my home page. I'll refresh it here. The market is closed. This is 4:30 in the afternoon here in China on Saturday. So the market's definitely closed. You can see right now my portfolio is valued at about $65,000. And I have $11,582 in cash that I actually need to get into the market. But everything's like at all-time highs right now. So I'm just kind of holding on to this, waiting for some opportunities. I guess I could put it in SGOV as well and let it sit there for a while. Anyway, if we go view all the positions here, I have one speculative growth stock that is Soundhound, S-O-U-N. Now for this stock right here, this is the only thing I have that's risky, but this stock right here, I was selling puts on this, and I eventually got it signed at a price I didn't mind. And then the stock ran up 120%. I took my initial investment out and playing with house money now. But I am selling covered calls on this position that is the house money, and I'm generating income by selling those covered calls. And I'm going to show you in the spreadsheet how much income I'm actually making from that. But anyway, the next position I have, which I mentioned to you guys in the introduction, is SGOV. I have 273 shares of SGOV, or $27,000 worth of SGOV. And the reason why this is for a couple of reasons. Number one, SGOV doesn't really move. It stays around $100 all the time. It may like reset to like 100, and then throughout the month it slowly creeps up, and then once it pays the dividend, it comes back down to 100. But it's a safe place to store emergency cash, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about flexibility. Because being an expat and living abroad, especially in say, I guess you would say like a low, a minimalist lifestyle, a low budget lifestyle, not spending a lot of money, and you need some flexibility. And this money here in SGOV, I can actually take this money out penalty free because I put this money in here. Anything you put in the Roth IRA, you can take out penalty free because that money's already been taxed. Now, say I run into a big medical emergency and I need some serious medical attention. I can pull that money right out of here, get that covered, and keep on going without missing a beat. Or say a piece of land or a condo or something like that pops up and there's like a really good deal and I really need to purchase it and I need access to money, I could pull this out, no penalty, no nothing, and buy that thing that I need. Or if there's an emergency I got to take care of or something like that, that money is there available for that purpose. And I think this is a good place to park it because I'm getting income on it every single month. And it's no risk at all in it. I don't have to sell for a loss or nothing. The next two positions we have are the growth portions of this portfolio. So we basically have a speculative growth, we have the emergency fund, and then we have two growth ETFs. We have SCHG, which is Schwab's US large cap growth ETF. This is pretty much follows the NASDAQ. It trails by about 0.5% or sometimes 0.75%. This does almost exactly the same thing as Vanguard's VUG. If you put those side by side, they are almost identical. This is where a lot of growth comes from. I have 365 shares of that. And then next I have SCHB, which is Schwab's US broad market ETF. This basically means you're buying the entire stock market. It's very, very similar to Vanguard's VTI. If you put them side by side, they're almost identical. And this just has a lower share price, so I can accumulate more shares. And the SHG and SHB both pay a dividend. It's quarterly, nothing special, nothing to write home about, but it does pay a small dividend. And then lastly, you can see I do have a covered call on SoundHound. I still cover calls to generate income on the position. So I have some income coming to the portfolio just for fun. And so this one here, I'm going to take you into the spreadsheet and share with you guys the income on this. So, and we'll talk more about this. In this cash, I might have to move this into SGOV and get some more income out of that for fun. Because I'm not using it right now anyway. The market's too high to be buying anything. And if you sell SGOV, like say the market crashes, SGOV's not going to crash. So you could literally sell, you could sell SGOV and not take a loss and buy whatever crashed. So it's there for that too. Anyway, let's record this screen on my spreadsheet because I want to share this with you guys so you guys can see the performance. Okay, 3, 2, 1, bam. All right, here's the spreadsheet. Let's make it bigger so it's easier to see, especially if you're on the phone. You're going to struggle to see this thing. Let's put it, is this too big? I'm going to make it big. It's huge. I'm looking at this on like a 60-inch screen. Anyway, on the left here, you got the positions I just showed you, the SoundHound, SCHB, SCHG, and SGOV. Okay, and then over here in the middle, we got the number of shares that I own and how much I paid for those shares on the right middle part here, which doesn't matter what I paid for it, it matters what you bought it at, not what I bought it at. But if we see the performance of this, we have one SoundHound, which is doing really bad, but this is the house money that's doing bad. I've already taken my money out of this. So, I mean, this can go to zero and I still walk away unscathed because I've already taken my initial investment out. So I'm not worried about this at all, but this is like one of those long-term things you think it's going to do really well over several years. This isn't over the next couple weeks, right? So keep that in mind with this position. But it says my total return is -2% and -11.6% market return. But again, this is the house money. So keep that in mind. SCHB, we're up 18.43% on the market return. And the total return is up 19.36%. So 18 is without the dividends. 19 is if you include the dividends, how much I've received here. And this makes up almost 19% of the portfolio. And then we have SCHG, which is the growth, more aggressive growth there. It's up 15.5% on the market return. And the total return is 15.8. This has a dividend also, but it's slightly smaller than SCHB's dividend. So you have a little bit of a very, very small difference between these two compared to the SCHB. This is 19.4% of the portfolio. And then SGOV, which I told you guys is the emergency portion of my portfolio where I keep this emergency money. And you can see it's a very, very, very large portion of the portfolio. Market return is 0.23 or 1/4%. Total returns up over 1%. I'm sorry. Almost 1 1/4%. It's 42% of the portfolio. Yes, it's overly aggressive, but when you're in my situation, when you're an expat, if you're going to, you can either pay really, really expensive insurance premiums every month and not get nothing in return other than peace of mind, or you can self-insure and keep, a large amount of cash to cover yourself if you need something serious. It's like for me right now, I'm still young enough where most of the time when I go to the doctor, I just do normal things. Like I go do a normal yearly checkup. It's like I just went a week ago. It was $100, $120. So I'm not going to use insurance for the $120. I'm not going to take money out of SGOV for $120, right? But if I had some major thing, say I need some type of surgery or something like that, the money I have in SGOV will cover that. And I don't have to pay insurance premiums every month for not getting anything in return. And so that's why it's fine for me to have such a large portion in SGOV. And if you're somebody who doesn't have Social Security or Medicare, Medicaid, something like that, and you're trying to live abroad and, like I am, it's good to have some money to just have put away for an emergency. If we go look at the dividend log, I'll just show you guys some of the income I got here. So 2026 here, you can see sound down. In January, I didn't make much money, $3.54 in cover call income. February, I made 32. In March, we had 10. April, we made $1.34. But in May, we made $54. So we did better here in May so far. And we still have another week to go. I might sell another cover call next week when the market opens on Tuesday, and it's not open Monday. SCHB pays quarterly, SHG pays quarterly, so we're not going to get anything until June for these two. So nothing to write home about there. SGOV has paid me $30, $73, $79, and this month in May they paid me $81. And yeah, if I put that $11,000 here just to park it for a while and then take it back out to allocate towards stocks later when there's better buying opportunities, that will increase this to over $100 a month. So yeah, not bad. Anyway, if we go see the total, I'll share that with you guys over here on the far right. So far I made $135 in income from this Roth IRA, but this isn't an income portfolio. This is more geared towards growth for later when I get old enough to actually use the money. You know, I can't touch it right now. I'm 45, and you can't touch the Roth IRA money really till you're, let's call it 60. They say 59 and a half, but till you're 60. So this has a long time, 15 years to grow. So why invest aggressively in income right now? Because I don't need the income right now and I can't use the income right now. I would just invest heavily for growth and start shifting towards income the older I get. And also, one more thing I will mention to you guys really quick. This year, you can put $7,500 into your Roth IRA. And for me, right now, as of this month, for the month of May, I deposited $900 into this Roth IRA portfolio. And that puts me at $4,900 for the year so far. So I still got a little ways to go before I reach the $7,500 per year cap. So I'm not quite there yet. So I'll keep adding money to this as time goes on, and I will definitely put the whole $7,500 in. But just thought I would share that little bit of information there with you guys. And yeah, let me close this out. I really appreciate you guys spending some time with me and listening to my Roth IRA strategy. Let me know in the comments below, do you have a Roth IRA portfolio? And if so, what's your strategy there? Is it simple? Is it complicated? Are you in income? Are you in growth? How are you investing in your Roth IRA? Let me know that down below. I'm curious what you guys have to say about that. And that's all I got for you guys, man. Soon I'll hit you guys with a video for the growth portion of my financial life, I guess, because I have the income portfolio, I have growth portfolios, I have retirement portfolio, as well as other stuff here on this channel that I bring to you guys. So stay tuned for those. Those are coming soon. And I'll see you guys next time, man. Y'all take care.